Right, there we go.
One of the things that we want to happen today is to introduce you to the map of co-creators, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll even do a demonstration, and that will allow you to understand how you might choose to become part of that map and how you might use the map to explore your own level of passion. And I won't get into that, but let's go around and just see who's in the group. We have an interloper from outside Georgia, and obviously I'm not in Georgia, nor is Merida, but you'll find out about that in a minute. Leanne, I'm going to pick on you because I've known you the longest of anyone here. So if you would start and just kind of introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Leanne Rubenstein. I'm the co-director of Compassionate Atlanta. And a little bit about me is that I am originally from South Africa. Came here when I was young, came to the South. Couldn't believe it when I went back to South Africa, and at the Apartheid Museum, there was an exhibit about MLK in the South. And I thought, what? I thought America had it all pulled together. So this is Peace and Justice is my life's work, and I worked for many years in refugee resettlement, and I've been with Compassionate Atlanta for 7 years. So very grateful that I can be part of a local movement and connected globally around the world, and have had many opportunities to connect globally with other charter partners. So very excited about that.
Yeah, just to show you how the charter is a network organization. Last year for Golden Rule Day, we had these wonderful sisters as part of the programming who sang an original song, I think. And they were from South Africa, so that when they made their way to the United States this summer, of course, they were going to have to land in Atlanta. So who did I rely on but Leanne, who took good care of them on their way back to South Africa. So, and last night, it was amazing with Canada, how many network opportunities just kind of flew off the screen because of people introducing themselves. Ayebo. She's the second person I've known for a time here on the screen.
My name is Iyabo Onipede, and it doesn't look like it sounds. So I spell mine out so you can try and pronounce it. And if you can't, it's perfectly okay with me. I am the co-director of Compassionate Atlanta with Leanne Rubenstein, who is a joy to work with. And she says peace and justice is her life. I think global peace and justice is more so her life, and internal peace and justice is more of my life here in the US, where my focus is on racial peace and justice. And so I call myself a racial peace builder, and the work I focus on at Compassionate Atlanta has a lot to do with racial equity. But we're part of all of it, and we love to mentor and nurture other younger organizations and form communities. So I am originally from Nigeria. I came to America when I was 16 years old, and I thought I was a mixed race person. And I got here and I was informed that I was Black because my mother is a white American, and I had no clue that I was Black because we don't use such language where I was coming from. We use tribal language. So I consider myself a mixed race Yoruba woman, but I was just told, no, honey, you're just Black. I'm like, oh, okay, works for me too. But literally the last 40 plus years, that has been an unfolding and an understanding of what that means in this context. I still feel like Nigeria is my home, but I've lived here way, way, way longer than that. So in my background, I have a legal background, and then I have a theological background. And I do believe that the work we do in compassion is deeply spiritual. Did I miss anything, Leanne? I live in Clarkston, the most diverse 1 square mile in America. That I love being in this mix of this element here.
So do you still have Mayor Ted? Is that his name?
Oh, Lord, no. We have Mayor Beverly Burke. Mayor
Okay.
Ted, whose infamy was because he was on Queer Eye for something, right? He is now a county commissioner.
Okay.
And what was beautiful was to see Beverly Burke become the mayor, because this very unique town of Clarkston is in DeKalb County. And in the 90s, when I came to Atlanta, there was what's called white flight. This is part of my whole fascination with race, white flight, where there were all these apartment complexes in Clarkston. The area was becoming more and more Black, because in Georgia it's more Black and white. And then all these apartments were rendered empty. And it was at a time when a lot of refugees were coming in. So folks got it together and started a whole refugee program so refugees could be placed in these apartment complexes. Well, the underbase of Clarkston was Black. That, the poorer parts of Clarkston were Black. The richer parts were where the apartments were. And it created a lot of resentment for the Black community that why are the refugees getting all this attention? And I believe, is Mayor Beverly the first African-American mayor of Clarkston? And they're just getting their first African-American mayor. So there are all those political, racial undertones, but, and the refugees come in looking at who has helped them and having appreciation and gratitude, and not knowing the history of the space, where even the Clarkston Community Center today was the high school that refused to integrate.
Wow.
And laid fallow for so long and was reclaimed and, refurbished and all that. And now it's a wonderful community center that the whole place revolves around the community center. So just juicy, interesting histories of human beings.
Thank you for all of that, because, and we'll do this in another meeting if you're open to doing this. I'm hoping, like we did for the last 3 years, to put together the program for the 40 Days of Peace, beginning with the celebration of the life of Martin Luther King. And so that happens in January till the end of February. Last year we were crazy. We did something every single day for 40 days. And so I'm wondering if we could maybe have a joint program. And that we might be able to get the people, especially the people of Clarkston, yourselves from Compassionate Atlanta, and I know that you have a lot of connections, and share that program. It also means sharing the work a little bit, which is great. But if you're interested, I'd love to do that. So
sounds awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have not received the information yet. It usually comes in November, which only gives you a little bit of time to plan. But, as we're having these meetings, we're finding people who might really be great contributors, and to you gave me an idea, Leanne, when you said about going back to Cape Town. One of the presentations that we had last year in the 40 days was the influence of Martin Luther King in India. And so we had a number of people from India who were part of that. I think we'll invite them again. So thank you. Sue, I understand you're connected with these two women as well. So, but I don't know you. So I'm excited here to find someone new.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to keep that a secret about those two, but here we are. Yaba, that was great to hear those things about Clarkston. I knew none of that. That's really, really good to know. Yeah, so I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and am actually a rare native. There are not that many of us these days. I was associated with Compassionate Atlanta pretty much from the beginning, and was at the ceremony when Karen Armstrong came and spoke and the charter was signed and all that. So have been associated with this from sort of pretty much the beginning. I've been on the board for like way past my term limits at this point. I don't know, at least 4 years or something like that. We need to address that in a formal way sometime soon. In addition, I am the director of the Atlanta Shambhala Meditation Center, which I have been doing for about 4 years now, I think, something like that. I've been a part of that community for, I don't know, 30 plus years. But in this particular role I've had for that period of time. So I don't know, that's the basic, that's my basic fundamental resume. One of the things that I aspire to and continue and can never quite figure out how to move forward. You know, Atlanta, the city of Atlanta signed the charter years and years and years ago, but there's just no engagement with the city just and keep going, and I would love to find a way to hold the city's feet to the fire more around this commitment that the city made those years ago. So a million other things, but that's enough for now.
Well, I would like very much, Sue, to introduce you to two people who I think that you and the board might really enjoy talking with and find some levels of success of how they are operating in their communities with local government. One is Jan Chase, and she's at Pomona. Pomona has really been involved because of the fact that somehow, and that's where the secret juice is I think in talking with the people that I'm going to mention. And I don't know, Merida, if you can immediately put their email addresses in the chat. I will make an introduction for you, but you can also contact them. But Jan and the city council and the mayor and the city manager, we are finding out that city managers are key to a lot of the success of communication within a city. So I think Jan would be very helpful there. The other thing is that the Charter for Compassion group in Pomona was able to introduce a level of conversation about civility in civic affairs. And so that's one reason to talk with her. Dr. Lisa Walker in Austin is also a really great person in terms of keeping in touch with city council. One of the things that they do in Austin, and Lisa started this, is that they appear in front of city council 4 times each year. And just to give them an update of what's going on. The third person has a real in, and that's Ann Helmke in San Antonio. And Ann has even been able to have a position within Mayor Nyberger's group. And that's a wonderful thing when something like that can happen. So I think these 3 women would be great to have a conversation with, to, just kind of lay out how is it that we can keep the city council abreast. And of course, the major thing is, who's your advocate or advocates in city council who really cherish the whole notion of compassion within local government, and locating those people and keeping them informed and getting them involved. One thing that I promise I'll stop in a minute, but York region in Canada, one of the things that they do is they bring in, they have these meetings and they bring in a member of city council. to their regular meetings. And so they've been real successful there. And I'm going to turn to Guard, because Guard in Las Vegas, who's the interloper at this meeting, has been very successful in working with city government. So thank you, Merida. She's starting to put up people's names here. And if Guard wants to put his in there as well. And
I'm missing one name, so sorry. Jen Chase and Helpke
and Lisa Walker in Austin. Okay.
Mhm.
Guard. And there's Guard. Okay.
So it's such a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you, Leanne and Yobo. I have a project, documentary going on right now in Africa. And
Unknown caller.
that's not me.
So you, okay.
So it's called the Ubuntu Project, and it's from Ethiopia to South Africa, from Kenya to Senegal, 12 nations. And I have a dear friend, Abimbla Abudaran, who is from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria. And we just filmed him and did interviews on the concept of Ubuntu. And we're hoping that this documentary will blossom into something more like the Heifer Project, where there's microfinancing to incredible projects that are going on in Africa around community development and around, if you will, the whole community, not just individual projects, but as Ubuntu suggests, the interbeing or the interdependence. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. And Sue, bravo for being there at the beginning and continuing your commitment to this, what Dalai Lama said is the revolution, which is compassion. So Compassionate Las Vegas got started about 12 years ago. And we used the work of the Harwood Institute. We were introduced to them by the Amidyars, who started eBay. And we have created a cohort of nonprofit leaders. We do leadership training every year. And we have over 200 nonprofit leaders who are part of Compassionate Las Vegas. We have 5 sectors identified that we have committed to trying to do something to move the dial forward. So I'm going to count them because I'm of an age I need to put my fingers up when I do it. So education, mental health, the environment, restorative justice, and I'll get that 5th one later. But it's exciting because in the area of restorative justice, which I think you're all familiar with, our Attorney General said we just don't do that in the state of Nevada. So as you all know, we have criminal justice systems that are premised on punishment, and that's not working so well. We have the largest incarceration per capita rate in Nevada of any state. So we have instituted restorative justice here, and it's slowly gaining traction within the DA's office and within juvenile justice and within the police department. And we know ultimately restorative justice will be a key part of the criminal justice system. So we are advancing on all 5 fronts, and I'm still not remembering which one I left out, but if I do, I'll chat it in. And so we're very well connected to our city government. We have Compassion Awards once a year that are sponsored by the city council and the mayor's office. I have a particular in with the mayor because I was her CPA for 25 years. So I know where the bones are buried. And she loves compassion. It took her about a nanosecond to adopt it. And Marilyn is absolutely correct. So we work with the manager's office, Lisa Morris Hibbler, and we have the Mayor's Prayer Initiative, which is embedded in the city of Las Vegas. And Pastor Troy Martinez is the head of that. So we are deeply embedded within the cultural psyche of Las Vegas, and we're expanding ourselves to other municipalities even as we speak. So that's it in a nutshell. And I will say one of my favorite pilgrimages was with the North American Interfaith Network when we came down and we visited Atlanta And I remember one of my favorite memories was sitting in Ebenezer Church and hearing the words of Dr. King. And I hope, in the 40 Days of Peace, we'll get a lot of those words onto the screen because they just move me. And I got to meet Andrew Young and Vivian Carter. And as I look at this screen, one of the stories Andrew Young told us was quite interesting. He went to his hometown with his wife, and there the general manager of the local store was there, and she was attracted to him at one point, and Andrew turned to her and said, "Aren't you glad you married me? Because I was the mayor of Atlanta and I was the ambassador to the UN." And without hesitation, his wife looked at Andrew and said, "Andrew, I don't think you understand. If I had married him, he would have been the ambassador to the UN."
Well done. I like that.
With that, I will shut up.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Mhm.
Sorry, go on,
No, go
Leanne.
ahead.
That's your
Who was-
question.
God, who was the person in Nigeria, Abimbola
Abu Dharan, he is a prince of the Yoruba clan.
Abu
right?
Dhabi? Yeah.
Abu Dharan. And
Mm.
he opened his arms, and we had another fellow, Dio Gracias, in Burundi, who opened his arms. And we've had several really key people, Musi Hailu from Ethiopia, who's the UN Peace Ambassador, and just amazing. So we're going to be showing this documentary at the Parliament of the World Religions, which I hope some of you come to
Beautiful.
in
Great.
Chicago next year.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Which I
So-
think go ahead, Leanne, I'm sorry.
Well, I wanted to jump in on the city's conversation. Gard, I've been hearing a lot about you. I know your wonderful support. I think we met at the last Parliament. Were you handing out the Charter for Compassion? Which I actually kind of want to show you something that we created for we had an event this year called Compassion Con, and created that symbol, but with lots of symbols in it, because we wanted to show that we were welcoming to diversity, we had mental health represented there. We had folks in wheelchairs that were dancing. It was like, we wanted to kind of bring all that in. So we have a great little logo for that I'll show you, or I'll send to you. But what I want to say, yep, there it is. I've got it on a winter coat somewhere. What I wanted to say when it comes to the city, and Sue, I'm so glad that you keep kind of pushing on this. And I love some of those ideas that, how many times do we go in front of the city council and what do we say to them? And I think that could be put into a plan for us. The city of Clarkston knows us really well. Like
Yeah.
the mayor is on Iabo speed dial kind of thing. If we need anything, we can call the mayor. We do a lot of work there. And City of Decatur knows us, and we're actually about to, and Sue, I don't think you're on the last meeting. So we're about to have some space at this place called Legacy Park. Sue, do you know Legacy Park? It's the old United Methodist Children's Home. We'll have to have a separate chat. Anyway, it's this great big piece of land. They've got these buildings on it, but that are older buildings, and they've got all this plan. So United Methodist Children's Home that had been there for many years sold it to City of Decatur for $40 million. And then they moved to somewhere else. And City of Decatur now has this huge green space, and they're renting out to nonprofits. And so we're going to have a couple offices there. So I think that will also tie in with City of Decatur. As far as City of Atlanta, which is, maybe Austin is a little bit closer, although I feel like they're a little bit more tighter in, well, maybe not than City of Atlanta, but we have made some inroads with Jaquel Clemens and Megan Sparks. And Megan Sparks is over One Atlanta, bringing together lots of different communities. And Jaquel Clemens is in a new office of violence reduction. And so, Gard, when you were talking about restorative justice, and something that you said, Marilyn, is, well, you called it, you said we're a, what kind of organization? We're a
Well, a networker, I think.
Network,
that
yeah.
might be
So
what I
a
said.
lot of what we find that we do is we connect people. And it's really amazing how many people don't know who's out there.
Yeah,
So we're hosting a call with Jaquel Clemens, who is with the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction and the restorative justice folks that she wasn't connected to, and several other people that are working on, I don't remember who else is on that call, Iabo, but a lot of other folks who are working on this issue. And so that's one office to get into. And then the mayor's pastor, he's now, Iabo, do you know what he's the interfaith something of
He's
the
an
mayor?
advisor. Yeah, he's the spiritual, not spiritual advisor, but religion and
But I think
community.
he has an office in the city of Atlanta now.
Mhm. I'll
So
look
we're
up. Yeah.
connected to him as well. So
well, I mean, what you're doing right now is building the bridge to what we want to share with you. And even though we're doing the sharing, we want you to take the co-creators map and brand it yourself. The only thing we ask is that you not try and do a map yourselves, but that what we're trying to do is bring all kinds of organizations onto the map. So that people who have a passion for restorative justice or for trying to find new ways to deal with mental health with youth or whatever the issue might be, that they can find one another. And they can find one another locally, because so often, one of the experiences we had last night when we introduced the map to the Canadian group, one of the people who is a palliative caregiver, while we were doing this, he started searching the map and he found somebody in his own community he didn't know who was doing similar work. And that's the beauty of the map, that people can find one another. They can make connections. And so I'm going to ask Merida if she can put the map up.
Yeah,
And
I just want to mention one thing before that, because I didn't know Yabo was from Nigeria. And just like her, I grew up in Nigeria for 8 years.
Where?
So Nigeria was my first home as well. My dad was dean of Zaria University.
My father taught at the University of Lagos, and we are Lagosians, like historical Lagosians. And I tell you, white people that have lived in Nigeria that came with education and all that stuff, it just blew, and public health, education specifically in public health, more so than business. Heart. Zaria is the northern part and beautiful and very different from Lagos because it's very Muslim.
It is, yes.
Historical kingdoms, like there's still structures and stuff. So that's wonderful. Good to know.
So
You
there we
see how
go.
you don't know stuff and then you know stuff. And then now
Yeah,
all of a sudden
that's what I like about these community chats.
I'll be like, Marilyn, who's that? Oh, the one that works with Merida, right? That's how I get. I'm teasing.
That's okay. Okay, well, here's the map, I think.
Yeah, it's here.
And we want one of you to be a guinea pig, and so that we can really see, how the map works. And so I'm wondering, I don't know, Leanne or Abel, if you are already on the map.
I don't know if we
I
are.
don't think I am.
No,
But
look at Georgia, poor Georgia. Okay, so here we go. Maybe you can zoom out a little bit so they can at least see Canada and the United States and see how it's been populated, and even Europe at this point. As we have these meetings, we find that more and more people get on the map. And so look at Canada, that because of the York region and the meetings that we've been having there, things are happening. And so let's look at registration. And so, Leanne, could you be our guinea pig?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to register yourself. you can come back later and you can register Compassionate.
And you can also register organizations.
Yeah.
So we'll do it for yourself now, and then you can register your organization.
And as you think about this and all of the people that you just were talking about in terms of coming to a meeting on restorative justice or some of the other departments within the city or even nonprofit organizations, please introduce this map. They could introduce it in turn to their people. So, okay, so Leanne, your email address is?
Leanne at compassionateatl.org.
And you need an @ sign.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Good.
It's not going in.
I think you'll have to probably go
Click
from
on mine. Then just click on
Honey,
mine.
Oh, I know. No, I know what's happening.
You can click on
Um,
Yabo. Maybe she can be your
Yeah.
person.
No, my
Click on Yabo. Let's do
keyboard
Yabo.
changes from Spanish to English, so it ends up in different places.
And
Okay.
Merida, how do I pronounce Merida? How do I pronounce your name again?
I'm a bit like you as well. It's in Spanish, it's pronounced Merida. In
Merida.
English, Merida.
Okay, Merida.
I've heard it all
Okay.
sorts and they're all fine.
Yeah.
So this is United States, which should be down at the bottom somewhere. Here we go.
Okay. Now,
And this
yeah.
is
now
Georgia.
the very most important thing is the postal code.
30033.
3003.
Sorry. 30.
033. Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
Leanne Rubenstein. Rubenstein.
And we don't need the phone number.
You
And
don't need the rest. No.
Okay.
no, but here's the
So
important thing, the primary interest. So this is what you are
How
most
many do you
passionate
get
about.
to choose? Just
On
one?
the primary interest, only one, but on the secondary interest, you can pick up as many as you want.
Okay, let's see, everybody. What am I gonna do?
Basically, as you can see, these are the 12 sectors of the charter.
Ah,
And so when you click on any one of them, you're going to see sub categories within one. So you were interested in peace. So I'm guessing that this would be the first passion.
let's do social responsibility.
Okay. Okay, and then
okay,
in
and from
secondary-
here you can choose many interests, as many as you want.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I take it you might be
Yeah,
interested in
interfaith,
interfaith,
yeah.
spirituality, maybe, or not.
Yeah.
Maybe you're interested in
Neuroscience.
some neuroscience.
Yeah. Conflict management, peace education, social responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by solidarity, women and girls, LGBTQIA, youth. Yeah.
I'll put men and boys just not to exclude anyone.
I should say men and boys. I just feel like they have a lot going on for them anyway. But that's not necessarily true. Media and communication. Yeah, caring. I do all of those.
Okay. Restorative justice.
Yeah, restorative justice, prison reform, environmental human rights, race, refugee rights, equity and diversity, animal rights. I mean, all of those are all, we say compassion is an umbrella.
Mhm,
Mobility.
mhm. And everybody could be doing the same with their own at the
Yeah.
same time. But anyway,
Do
healthy
you want to do
living.
mobility up above under infrastructure and resources?
Mhm.
Healthy living. I would do healthy living at the top and mental health. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I can do the rest if you want me to.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
let's just stop because and say that when you come back, you're not going to have an opportunity to just go and do what we're doing right now. You're going to have to deregister. And if you can just go up to the top, Merida, and show that deregister in the navigation. And the reason for that is that this is a foolproof way of making certain that no one can hack what you've done. And so you deregister and you start all over again each
Okay.
time if you want to make a change.
So you must have got your email. If you want to just say yes to that, so that we can see your pin pop up somewhere.
So just let us know when you said yes, and then maybe Merida, you need to refresh the page.
I've said yes.
Okay.
We'll have to go back. There we go.
It always goes to, it always opens to the place where you live.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't think you're on there yet.
It should be. In Atlanta?
Can you
Mhm.
go a little closer in and see who else is there?
Oh, there's
Yeah.
Steve.
Steve, do we know Steve, Leanne?
No.
Okay, let me tell you about Steve. Steve is, he's one of the team for the charter's peace sector. So you need to know Steve. He's in
No.
your backyard. There you are, Leanne. So, you know, that's the beauty of the thing, finding people locally
Mhm.
who have maybe the same interests that you have. Steve's connections have been many. He used to work with the International Group of Mayors for Peace. So I think you'd like to have a conversation with him, maybe. Let's, before we go into looking at all of these possibilities, let's go to the filter, because this is so important. So you saw the full global map. So if we go to the filter and pull that up, and let's just click on peace as one of your primary groups, and you know, and then let's just click OK, and then see what happens. And maybe Merida, you want to scroll out so people can see what happened. Is that, you know, where you had all these pinpoints before, you now have only those people who are interested in your own area of passion. And so what you can do now, you can say, geez, I have this project, for example, that I need help on and in exploring. Like, I'm going to do this for the 40 days of peace. I'm going to come to this map and I am going to look for people who might be interested in what we want to do as a charter. Find them and then select them. And notice when you select them, I don't know if you can see, but a little red star appears on their name. So you can go around the world and say, geez, I'd love to have representation from Australia, for example, or Gary up in Canada. And I think he's in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And so let's look at, you know, finding other people, but then you will notice there's Paul Atkins interested in peace in Australia, and Clara Newhart. I'm not sure I could see that really well. Okay, so you've selected these people, and then as you select someone, an invitation comes up in the navigation bar, and you can send them, you put in your own email address, you put in the subject of your interest, and you send an email to them. You don't know who, what their addresses are, and this is a safeguard. And then you send the message, and it's up to them to say, geez, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. I'd like to be involved, and they can contact you directly. So
Great.
it's really pushing people to find people locally, regionally, and globally to work with one another, to share ideas, to explore the possibility of coming into a circle of trust where they can just have conversations like we're having today. So often when we have these conversations, and I think this is happening in a couple of the communities in which we've been involved, people just want to keep coming together and just exploring in conversation with one another. And then, gradually the circles continue, the work continues, and it's in everyone's hands. It's not in Compassionate Atlanta's hands. It's not in Charter for Compassion, but what we're doing is we're really offering an opportunity for people to form their own avenues of exploration and passion. So that's the map. And I think that, as you indicated, your interest in peace, I mean, I didn't even think about this until we did this, that we could actually ask and pull out all of these people who are peace builders, who might want to help contribute to the 40 Days of Peace. So I think it's an exciting tool. Our hope is that everyone that we talk with can think about not only themselves getting involved with this tool, but introducing it, like in your case, to the Compassionate Cities. I mean, think about if we could get all of the organization in Clarkston to be a part of this map, or all of the local restorative justice members, and then they can find restorative justice people in Nevada or in California, or
I'm going to also create a link. So I'm going to send you a logo that could be put up on websites so people can link directly to here and register.
That's great. Yeah, we could add that to our website.
The other thing
Yeah.
you're free to take is we have an explanation of this whole process. It's only about a page long. It's on our website. You can steal it and put it on your website and make it your own. But just so the link goes back to the master map, because we now have a number of different organizations who are coming and using and putting themselves on the map. So collectively, we're pretty sure, with the help of the two people, Ole from Sweden, and also Gunnar, who is really the technical person behind this, that this map can easily take on millions of people. But my wish is that maybe at the end of the year, we would have a couple thousand people. We have, I think, around 250 now. But as we do these sessions, hopefully others.
I think it's grown.
Pardon me?
It's definitely grown. There's more
yeah.
than 250 here.
Yeah, we have, we've only been doing this for 5 weeks. So you can see where we've been having meetings. And it's been kind of an interesting thing. We've had a meeting with the state of Arkansas and California. Hopefully we're going to get to Florida, and every other state, so that we can see how this can grow. But then we have a counterpart to the map, and that is our Grassroots Wisdom book. And can you pull that up, Merida? And I think under community, can you pull that, so that, for example, Leanne spoke about your Compassion Fest. We already have it up. And so either we, when we hear something through the news that we get, we take advantage. So I think it's under Compassionate Initiatives. When we get these stories or hear the stories, we try and there it is, page 3. Put them on the Grassroots Wisdom book. And the idea is that what we can do is, in just a few paragraphs, let people know what's happening, and not only what's happening, but what they could do in their own communities. So that as we get the stories up, the idea is that hopefully we get people who were involved in the stories on the map, but also that there's a link so that people can contact you and say, hey, how did you really do that in Atlanta? And we refer them to your website for doing that. Again, this is based on our 12 sectors, and so that we stories in each of them. So are there any questions about this?
I don't really have a question, but I do have a comment, which is, this is brilliant. Who did this? Oh my God.
Well, we've been working on this for well over a year. And as I said, two people, Ola, who was really instrumental in helping to think through this process. And then what we did is we took it to all of our lead volunteers and our staff, and we created the sub themes that you see. And then we went on a testing venture to see if this would really work. And I hope we've worked out most of the kinks, if not, hopefully all of them. And so we're just so excited about it. We're just, as I said, the map has been around for about 6 weeks and the Book of Wisdom about 4 weeks. And so we're just looking for people to say, oh, I really want to be involved in this.
It's really great.
Can
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, Sue.
What is Merida's role in the chart? What do you do, Merida?
I'm program coordinator for the Charter for Compassion. That's the official role. So I'm in charge of coordinating, make sure everybody gets links and gets into events and that they're nicely placed in our website, and that and sitting in on these meetings and learning more from you than I can teach yet at the moment. I've been here for 4 months, so please be patient with me, but I'm here for whatever you need. If you want to have a meeting, if you want to have something on our website, if you have an event that you want to share, that's me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Merida is associated with Christina Gonzalez, who's our chair, and they just put on an incredible event, Encuentro de Valores in Monterrey, which had what, 2,000 to 3,000 people, Merida?
Yep. Yeah, we had a full audience. Yeah. It's really good. A very powerful woman, very powerful speakers came from Rosaria Marin, who was the ex-treasurer of the United States, to Lisa Miller.
Okay.
Name it, they were there.
I'm sorry, Gard, I know you have a question, and I just realized, because Lynn came and tapped me on the shoulder, that this is the same link for our global read, which is about to happen in 5 minutes. Welcome to the Life of the Charter.
Just a quick comment.
Same link.
So,
yeah,
so
the one.
in addition to the map and the Book of Wisdom, we are also going to be promoting Circles of Trust, which we have discovered is the sort of the inward movement and creates a quality of intimacy and coherence within our chapters. So that's the inward. The outer is, if you will, moving the co-creative map. And then the Book of Wisdom is just this incredible repository of resources. So thank you all. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you, Leanne. And my new sister from Nigeria, I'm going to put you in touch with Abimbola Abudaran, who wrote the book June 12th, which was the equivalent of our January 6th. But in Nigeria, as you know, it succeeded.
Yes.
And that is the threat. So that's why this work is so important.
Thank you all for coming. And, we're doing another session with Georgia tonight. So, if you haven't
You're all
gotten
welcome.
you're welcome to come.
4:30,
Yes,
4:30 in this afternoon. So
Okay,
please
bye.
join us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thanks, Gard.
everyone.
Thanks, Sue.
Bye.